Ahoy! I thought I'd rectify my mistake of last video of not wearing anything that I made in the intro. I made this shirt. I didn't make the dress, but I mean, come on, this shirt is the statement piece. And if you wanted me to make a video on how to make it, no, because I made it based off of a Bernadette Banner video. Go watch that if you wanna look like me. Today, I'm gonna actually keep a promise that I made by suggesting that I make this pantsuit from my last video. If you didn't watch my last video, you're really missing out on the extra context here, so you should probably go watch that in full and then come back and watch this video in full. Anyway, I need to figure out what pieces I'm working with, so I have my sketchbook here to sort of work it out, to figure out what exactly I'm working with. I need to find just a pants pattern because that's terrifying. Pants are so hard to make. So I'm probably gonna use one of the free patterns off of Mood Society. Those things are really good patterns and they're free. I just have to wait until my parents aren't in the house so I can abuse our printer. I'll link whatever pattern I end up using in the description. So I'm mostly worried about figuring out the bodice. The thing I'm worried about probably most is the collar, but I mean, it's not like I haven't made a collar before. I'm gonna just sort of sketch out the pieces I need to make because I need a front piece and a back piece and whatever. Back piece. So really basic back piece. I might drape it on Gertrude. Can you see Gertrude? Because it just makes it super easy on me. She's got my back and I got her back to drape patterns on. Throw that picture up. And then the front, it'll have seams going down right over the curvature of the front torso. That's so bad. Oh my gosh. I know what I'm looking at. It doesn't matter if you're confused. And then also with the buttons down the front. Miss Mary Mac. Oh, I could put the buttons down her back. So I'll probably start with a mock-up so that I know exactly what looks best and what fits me best so I can try it on. The sleeves would just be... Although is the collar, I'm gonna go look for a reference that's not this one. Magnum PI who? I wasn't speaking into the mic. That was my bad, but basically I'm just gonna make a really long trapezoid that's wider than this one, so yeah. Thank you, Crown and Ivy, for the excellent reference. So yeah, look at your, okay, shut up, Brooke. Okay, so that's basically what I gotta look at, but I also have to decide what fabric I'm gonna use. I think I have a handful of different pinks. This is the first pink. It's really nice. It's I think it's cottony. The next one is this. This one's definitely poly cotton because it's like a little less breathable, but it is a little like lighter and movable. It's about the same color. This one is definitely the ugliest color. It's like a coral. I don't like it. And then this one. This is the boldest color. It's a very hot pink. I like a bright pink, don't get me wrong, but this one reminds me of like when they stopped making Barbies with like the sort of rubbery skin and the joints that like with the actual sockets, and they started making them out of hard plastic and their like limbs didn't move. That's the vibe that this gives me, is like Barbie but not the same. My first choice is definitely the first fabric, and I think it also had the most, so that's the one we're going with. I feel like a real designer. Look at me, I got swatches. That's so special. Now to actually making it. Let's go. So I started by drafting a pattern based off of those pieces that I drew really crappily. These are the measurements I got from myself, and I used them to add dimensions to pieces I drew, some a little bit more specifically than others. And I used those dimensions to draw out an actual sized pattern from this construction paper that we keep in our garage. And it took forever. Actually, it wasn't that bad. It was sort of like a little puzzle, but I refuse to admit that like geometry can be sort of enjoyable, or at least fun. Nope, those mean the same thing. This is me expressing my unsureness of the front side panel, but I just move on to the middle front panel, which I also immediately feel very unsure about. If you can't see what I wrote above the neckline, it says, "I don't think so." I didn't have to do as much thinking on the front middle panel because I sort of just traced the same curve off of the front side. The curve might not be in the right place, but heck if it isn't matched up. Well, I have my patterns and my fabric. Here's pink, and here's a nice off-white. And here are my rough pattern pieces for the bodice. I'm gonna cut those out of this muslin for a mock-up, and if it's the right size, I'll just use that as the lining for the top part. I still don't have a pattern for the collar and the sleeves. I picked out a pants pattern. This is Mood Society, the Live pants. So feeling rather unsure about the pattern that I had drafted, I set out to cutting it out. And because of my doubts, I cut it a little bit larger than it needed to be, and then I used some chalk to mark where the pattern actually is. And then I pinned and sewed at the sides and shoulders. Then I matched up those curves, pinned and sewed them. And then came the moment of truth where I had to try on the mock-up that I had created. So let's see how that went, shall we? So this is attempt number 1. It needs a little bit of work. I don't know if you can see from here, but the overlap is a lot wider than it needs to be for the buttons, and it's very inconsistent. The curve of the bodice is a little too high. I look a little bit like I'm about to fly away, but all fixable. That's why I made a mock-up first. But I need to denote all of those issues. Wherever my chalk is, I'll mark where this overlaps. The pants are gonna be a breeze because I don't have to draft a pattern for those. I already have one. I've marked her up. I put on a more fitted shirt so it'd be easier to fit this on me. Gertrude's taking the day off, right, Gertrude? You crack me up. So I've marked a line down the middle so it's a little straighter, and then I have pinned this curve and then marked it with chalk, and then I pinned this. I'm gonna try and take this off oh so delicately, and then I'm gonna model a second mock-up after this side of the garment. I'll go ahead and spoil it and tell you that the second mock-up is a lot more successful than the first. First, I mark where all those pins were with chalk. That will denote the shape of the new pattern. So I disassemble the first mock-up, and that's what I use as my pattern for the second mock-up. This is the new pattern. Pin and sew that together, and I try it on, and it looks great. It's awesome. And so I just go ahead and cut that same pattern out of my pink actual fabric. Then I start sewing it together. After having sewn the front curve together, obviously I want that seam to lay flat, so I cut notches all in it because that's how you get curves to lay flat. Cut notches all along that curve, and then I iron that seam open. So newest snag, I have the bodice in the actual fabric, and it's looking good. So this is like fitting well. I just need to add the sleeves and the collar and such. Problem with that being, I don't know how I'm gonna do this collar because in my design, it's 2 different colors and I like it so much I wanna keep it that way. But that makes it a lot more complicated. So I have paper here. Makes it so much more complicated, but I want it to be cute. So we cut out a paper pattern, and then you'll just watch. I don't know how to explain what I'm about to do. But I am going to explain what I'm about to do. So first, I get the measurement of the neckline of the bodice, because that's going to be the length of the shorter edge of the trapezoid that we're about to make. So I draw that onto some paper, a slightly longer line above it, and connect them. I go in about an inch from every edge and draw another line to make a smaller trapezoid within that trapezoid. I use that to cut 2 trapezoids out of the cotton muslin, one of which is going to stay that size. Then I cut out the smaller trapezoid to cut out of the cotton muslin, and then I use those excess pieces. I cut those out of pink, and I puzzle piece those pieces together until they look like the collar that is on the sketch. And then I stitch them together. I stitch the puzzle pieced side to the underside, flip it inside out, and then I iron it until it looks like it's supposed to look. I pin it between the pink outside layer of the bodice and the cotton muslin lining layer, which is actually just the second mock-up that I made. And then I stitch those to one another with the collar in between them. So when I turn it inside out, the collar is right where it's supposed to be. As you can see, I was quite pleased with it. Now enjoy a brief interlude dedicated to the making of the puff sleeves. I'm not gonna explain how I did it. You can watch. I am loving this. The collar. Oh, I want the sleeve to be a little smaller though, so I'm gonna trim it back, and then I have it sewn on the other one. I'm gonna make the sleeve a little shorter, and then gather into the cuff, the sleeve cuff. Yeah, and then I'm almost done with the bodice. Once I finish the sleeves, I'll start on the pants. Bangs now. I'm not like going through anything. This wasn't like an impulse decision. Like I just thought that I would look cute with bangs. And I think I was right. So I really wanted to get the pants done today. And once I have the pants done, I basically have the whole thing done. Because I just needed to do the pants, connect the pants to the top, have buttons and buttonholes, and that's it. And I really wanted to have that done today. Problem is that I'm working on another video simultaneously with this, and it involved 2 of my friends coming over because I wanted to show them what I was working on for the other one. We went out and we tried to get the Grimace milkshake, and they were out of it in our McDonald's, in our whole county. Every McDonald's in our county, they didn't have a Grimace milkshake. So unhappy birthday to you, Grimace. I let them do an early screening of the video that I should have coming out next week. And then we went to Goodwill because I was looking for something for that other video, and that took up like most of my day. So the rest of the day to get these pants done. So the name of the game is Speed. So I set about to cutting the pants pattern, first from paper, then from fabric. And then I constructed the rest of the pants, but you're just gonna have to use your imagination from that because my camera ran out of storage, so it stopped recording for a time. What I have of the pants thus far, I have the pockets and I have the pants put together. So what I have left to do is adding the waistband, the zipper, and then attaching the pants to the top. And then once I have that done, it's just buttons and buttonholes, and then I have to make the tie. Not like a tie, but like a tie, not a bow tie. You saw the picture. I have about an hour to work on this right now because it's the 4th of July. That's why I have a bathing suit on. Okay, I have added the fly. This is the first time I've ever sewn a fly, and it was a process. So all that's left is the waistband, and there's a few little things I need to be conscious of when I am doing the waistband. I need to make sure that this part of the fly is folded over, and I also, these pockets, they will bunch up and look crazy if they are not also sewn onto the waistband with everything else. And I'm just gonna serge around this waistline to make sure that it's exactly what it needs to look like. Now I just need to mark where I like pants to hit so that I can attach them. I feel like this is an outfit that the world's cutest supervillain would wear. Before I was thinking like President Barbie, but something about this is just like a little evil. Then I settled down for some hand sewing, attaching buttons and hemming the pants using whatever stitch I'm using here. I don't know. And the last thing I did was to make the tie that goes around the neck of the drawing. Now enjoy a montage of me getting ready for the final reveal. How do I shoot it back out is my question. We'll see if I have the shame to put that in video. I hope you enjoyed the video. I hope you enjoyed the video. Feel free to like and subscribe if that's up your alley. I would appreciate it. Me personally, I'd appreciate that. You don't have to, but just consider it if that's a thing that you do. But I hope you enjoyed the video, and I hope you enjoyed the jumpsuit. I know that I do. I feel like this is the first time I have fully designed just a garment of clothing and then made it happen. I don't know how you feel, but I'm pretty stoked at how it turned out. This has been a very exciting time for me. I hope that it's been equally exciting for you. And if it has, stay tuned, I guess. Please return next week. I don't have a sewing video coming out. So next week is not a sewing video, but it's a video that I'm excited about. But the week after next, I should have a video coming out that I'm very excited about, and it is sewing related. Probably my best video yet, and I hope that I can get it done by then. Until next time, until next time.